103.7 FM KOFO.
KOFO, your sports source for East Central Kansas and radio home of Ottawa University Braves Athletics, welcomes you to this edition of Hoop Talk, our weekly chat with OU Braves head basketball coaches Tarnisha Scott and Aaron Siebenthal. You can join us live for Hoop Talk right now at Primetime Grill at Fusion Alley in South Ottawa. Hoop Talk is brought to you by Primetime Grill, Ottawa University, and KOFO. Now, here's your host for Hoop Talk, KOFO's Luke Queen.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Queen with you here inside the Primetime Grill at Fusion Alley for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And coming in with me here in our opening segment is men's head coach Aaron Siebenthal. Coach, welcome back.
Thanks, Luke. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, it's been just over a week since we talked last, and 3 games in there, and you've gotten done exactly what you guys, I would assume, hope to do.
Yeah.
Going 3-0 in the week, and it started out, we were talking last week about going on the road and a late night trip on the road to Sterling. Before we go into that game, I gotta ask, did you get home last night later than when you actually went to Sterling the week before?
No, it kind of felt like it, but man, that last hour and a half. I mean, the stretch from Emporia at home from Sterling seems like it takes forever, man. I don't know why they do that to us to make us play that game on a weeknight, but luckily we were able to go there and we played okay, not great, but better than we had been, and lucky enough to get the win. So that bus ride is it's a long one, but it's even longer if you coming home with a loss. So luckily we got the win, and it wasn't as arduous of a ride as it could be.
Well, and Sterling, we talked about them last week because they were the next game upcoming. Kind of a young team in Sterling a little bit, playing a lot of freshmen, sophomores that I would notice out there, and handling pretty well early in the season. They've kind of growing up, getting a lot more playing time, and they weren't. It didn't look like you guys took them lightly at all. But Sterling maybe has improved a little bit here. But coming away 94-90, get the win. Anytime you get a win on the road in the KCAC, it's always a good night for you. So then you get to host one on Saturday night at home and take on Tabor, who, as you said last week, has some dudes. And they're an impressive bunch to look at for sure, and they've got some talented athletes out there. But really, your guys kind of got into a flow on Saturday that was, as a fan, was a whole lot of fun to watch. 105-82 win that night. In those 2 games, you took care of Sterling, pretty handily. They've gotten better. Tabor was a closer game the first time around. Now, obviously, it was on the road, but what is it as we've turned into this second half of the conference season? Is it the guys knowing that this is the second half and we need to turn it up, or they just looked free-flowing the other night against Tabor for sure? What was it that kind of got them going?
Yeah, we talked a lot about after the first half of the conference season, really just kind of hitting the reset button, and it's a 12-game season, and what are our realistic goals in those 12 games? You'd love to go 12-0, but after going 6-6, the first round, we'd be 10-2, 9-3. I think even 8-4 would maybe get us into the top 4, which is really our goal right now, to try and get to the top 4 and get a home game for the first round of the conference tournament. So we got a good start to that 3-0, but I think we kind of hit that reset button. I think it reset us mentally more than anything, and we just talked about trying to get back to having fun in the game. The way we play or want to play is a lot of fun if we're doing it the right way. I think the biggest thing is we're taking good shots, and it's not that we were taking bad shots, but I think we were passing on a lot of good looks. Guys would be open from 3, and they'd ball fake nobody and drive into the defense, and then we pass the ball around, and now the shot clock's running down, so now let's take a bad shot. And so I think guys are just kind of recognizing when they're open more, and that the ball's moving better, and our assist numbers are up. But we're making shots, and I think that's a product of, one, we're playing better D, so we're not taking it out of the net as much, so we can run and go get some easy ones. But I think guys are just more comfortable in their, knowing when to score, when to shoot, and when to move the ball. And we've made a pretty conscious effort of working on that in practice. And guys get yelled at in our practice a lot for not shooting. So you gotta, which is perplexing when they're not shooting open shots or what we think are open shots. And I think it's a mix of they don't want to be selfish, they want to make sure they're taking a good shot, but at some point passing up good shots is just not how we want to play. So, I think guys are doing that and kind of reaping the rewards of moving the ball and making shots.
Well, and then, I said, got to watch it at home inside Wilson Fieldhouse on Saturday, that big win against, a big spread there against Tabor, I should say. And then, you have to go out on the road. St. Mary it seemed like it was a tough place maybe for you to go get wins there for a while. It hasn't been that way the last few years for you. And another big win, another night in, getting to 100. And something I saw last night watching the live stream and trying to listen to Casey as well. But, you guys got out in transition, and again, we're getting a lot of, I don't know if they're the looks you're looking for, but when you're making shots, that's the look you're wanting. But, a 100-72 win last night, you held them a little bit down, maybe, really kind of held them at bay. It looked a lot like your defense was really kind of the catalyst, controlling the tempo from the start. Is that what it was, or was it just that ability to get the ball off the rim and get up transition that got it going last night?
Yeah, I think we were really good defensively. We're not a great defensive team, but when we're on the same page and we're communicating and we know what we're supposed to be doing, we're pretty good. And we've really tried to simplify how we're guarding, and we kind of have taken game planning out the window. We're going to guard one way. This is how we're going to guard, and you better figure it out. You better be good. So, a lot of that comes down to how we guard ball screens. That's kind of our biggest changes. We would have made the pass, and now we're just going to guard it one way, and you better make a play. So I think we're a lot better defensively, and then we're committed to running. And St. Mary's a team that's coming off some quarantine issues. They had to forfeit their games before that, so we knew they were going to kind of be, they hadn't practiced for a while, so they were going to, I thought we could. If it's going to be a track meet, we were going to win, and that was one of our goals. Was to let's get our score in the 90s, and we think we've got a pretty good chance to win. So, and we did that, and again, I think we had 18 assists, really sharing the ball well, and Joe's shooting it well, which is nice because it really opens up everything for everyone else. And Jaquan's starting to finally play well, and Andre's played really well, really all year. So. And then you got guys like, Jackson Mallory, who are, just our solid guys. Ian Moore's playing well. So, we still are 8-9 deep. We got Ryan Torrey's the new young guy that we're getting some minutes for, and he hit 2 threes last night, and he's getting more confidence with us. And so, we're just going to keep plugging guys in there and see what happens. But I feel like we're trending in the right direction for sure.
Absolutely. It was a lot of fun, for me to watch last night as well. Even with the late start with the women's game going into triple overtime, but I honestly, as I was watching the women's game, and your guys are used to starting at right around 8 o'clock, and even if the women's game had ended in regulation, it would have been a little bit late. But we're talking an hour later. You kind of go back in the fourth quarter of the women's game, kind of getting through a little bit, getting that some stretches and things done, and then ready for that 20-minute clock to start, and then it's an hour later before that 20-minute clock starts. You guys came out ready. Mm-hmm. Was that any kind of concern that, there's a pause, we're ready, there's a pause, we're ready? Is there anything that needed to be said to the guys, or did they just take care of it on their own?
No, I didn't. I sat there and watched the girls game the whole time, and they did their own thing. I mean, we've got seniors and upperclassmen that have been there and done that. I mean, and at some point they got to be, responsible for their own level of intensity and focus to start the game, and they did a good job. So St. Mary up above where they're kind of elevated track above the court, they have some racquetball courts and stuff like that. Our guys are able to kind of get in there and just move around a little bit, stay loose, and get moving. So The good thing is, their team had to do the same thing, so, it was, I think our guys were fine and locked in, and I think if anything, it's just because it was an exciting game, triple overtime, maybe got our guys a little more focused, a little more, excited, and got them going a little bit. So, it took our women's team 55 minutes to score 100 points. It only took us 40 minutes, so I'll make sure to point that out to Coach Scott when she gets here. So, but no, it was a great night for everybody. We had a lot of fun, and it's nice when we both can win. It's a lot more of a fun bus ride home, and hopefully there's more of those to come.
Well, and that was definitely something, I noticed last night at the end of it, to think was, 95 minutes of basketball was played, 201 points were scored by Ottawa University basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times that's happened. I didn't have time today to go back through the entire record book to find it, but, it was a pretty fun night of basketball to watch on my end, and that was great to see 2 wins, but a lot of fun to see yours. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, I'd like to kind of talk to you about some individual performances and then a little bit of some things that the Braves are doing off the court that are pretty neat, too, as well. But we're going to take our first time out here at Primetime Grill. It's the Fusion Alley. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better, because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back, and they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
My name is Jose Trejo. I'm a junior here at Ottawa University, and I'm currently studying exercise science. One of my favorite things about OU is that it's a small community, and coming from Western Kansas, where all there is small country towns, I felt right at home as everyone kind of just felt like family. It's a great community. It has a lot of support behind it, and most of the professors here are extremely well about getting you to understand the knowledge that they want you to understand.
Education for a lifetime at Ottawa University. To find out more, visit online at ottawa.edu. It's easy when the calendar says winter for your mind to wander to warmer days ahead, like spring. And when your mind wanders to spring, what do you think of? Yeah, us too. The KOFO Home Base Home and Garden Expo is back this spring, March 5th and 6th at the ORC Goppert Building in Ottawa. Booth space for vendors is available now, but will fill up fast. So if your business is all about home, garden, or anything else that says spring, call KOFO today at 785-242-1220 or email sales@kofo.com. With hundreds of your potential customers visiting the KOFO Home Base Home and Garden Expo over 2 days, March 5th and 6th, you can't afford to miss out. It's your booth to do with what you want, and advertising to tell your story to those who need to hear it and need what you've got to offer. Call today, 785-242-1220, or email sales@kofo.com. We're looking forward to seeing you again in the beautiful confines of the ORC Goppert Building, March 5th and 6th at the KOFO Home Base Home and Garden Expo. Reserve your booth today.
Back here at the Primetime Grill, it's Fusion Alley. Between with you here for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk, and still with me here is Ottawa men's head coach Aaron Steventhal, coming off of a big win last night against the University of St. Mary, and 3 in a row here. And you know, the last 2 games we kind of wanted to talk a little bit about some individual performances, and it was absolutely just fun to watch on Saturday night. Joe Johnson putting up a career high 36 on the night, and then he turns right around, and in the first 8 minutes or 7 or 8 minutes last night, hits 3 more threes and has a nice driving bucket as well off of a good dish, and goes for another 27 last night. So besides just Joe, I mean, what could you say about Joe? Other than we've all known he can shoot the basketball.
Yep.
I've been watching him for long enough now. It's fun to watch him shoot, but when he gets hot, it looked like Saturday night. One of the things was guys kind of almost seemed to know where to find him, and his shot just looked open most of the night.
Yeah, and we, that's one great thing about our guys and the way we play is if somebody's feeling it, we're going to give them the ball, and we call the timeout, or actually Tabor called the timeout in the second half, and he was cooking, and so I drew up a play for him, and kind of one of the things we've worked on our guys with is that if we draw up a play for you, we call a play for you, that doesn't give you like carte blanche to just jack a shot if you're not open, and Joe has kind of been a culprit of that when things weren't going great for us, and so I drew up a play for him, and I said, Joe, what's probably going to happen is they're going to step out on you, and Tristan's going to be open, and you should throw it to Tristan, but we all know you're going to shoot it no matter what, so you may as well make it. And everybody laughed, and then we ran the play, and sure as heck, Tristan was wide open, and Joe threw it to him, and Tristan scored, and Joe just pointed at me on the court and smiled at me, so that was a fun moment for us. But Joe's an amazing young man. I mean, he's his first-year grad student and doing great in his graduate program, and he's a youth minister at his church back home, and he's a guest minister at some churches here in town, and just a great person, a great young man, and a lot of fun, and he's our hardest worker. I mean, he's in the gym all the time. I mean, he's a shooter that works on his craft all the time, and we're lucky to have him. We're lucky to give him that extra year with the COVID year, and he's been great for us, and he was a big part of our championship team 2 years ago. I mean, he came off the bench and the whole year, and I think he led us in scoring 2 or 3 games coming off the bench. So Joe's a great dude and a great teammate and a lot of fun, and we're lucky to get to have him on our team.
And it was a lot of fun to watch. I actually went home Saturday night after the game because I wondered, I was doing the math in my head if he had hit 8 or 9 threes, and then I went and looked up the school record is 9, and he had 8 that night. And I thought, oh boy, maybe he got it, or maybe was trying to get it. Had a good shot at it.
Yeah, I didn't know what the record was. Usually Katie's pretty quick to tell me if somebody's close to a record. I mean, that's how Darrell Bowie got the record 2 years ago for points in a single game points, because I think he had 40 or something, and I was going to take him out with 3 minutes left, and Katie's like, hey, the record's 44. Well, stay in there and go get the record, then I'll pull you out. So, Joe's a great dude. It's his birthday today. So happy birthday to Joe, and lucky his parents get to make it to a lot of games. So, but a lot of our guys are like that. I think one of the biggest things with our guys is, we're winning now, but I think before when we were winning, we just made like I said, we made that reset. But part of that reset is we need to have fun. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a game, and we want to win and we're competitive, but man, let's have fun, and the way we play is supposed to be fun, and we don't grind it out, playing the 40s or 50s. We play fast, we shoot it a lot, and we can get going. So I think guys really bought into it. Let's just have a good time, and let's just play as hard as we can and have fun doing it. So.
And you mentioned another individual performer that's kind of seeming to find his groove back just a little bit more, especially on the offensive end, and recently, and Jaquan Daniels has been coming off the bench a little bit, maybe taking a little bit of, giving him an idea, get out there, see what's out there, and then go get it. Jaquan, he's been scoring a little bit more in the last couple games, and, he's always getting after it, and, has been widely recognized as one of a great defender in the league. What maybe is it just a few shots have fallen for him, because sometimes that can get a guy going, but Jaquan's looked really good lately. Is there much that's changed as far as, what you've seen out of Jaquan, or is it just it's starting to click again for him?
No, I think it's starting to click, and you know, Shaquan's he's one of my favorite guys I've ever coached, is because he knows when he's not playing up to his standards, and he accepts coaching. You know, he doesn't take it personal, and you know, he's been fine coming off the bench, and you know, when you aren't playing your best, and when we've had some struggles, you got to try different things, you know, and so you know, our guys don't care who starts, they don't care about that kind of stuff. They just, you know, they want to win, and they want to try and do it together. So Shaquan's really made the effort to start trying to get to the rim. He's one of those guys that's so talented, so athletic that he'll make a move, and the guy guarding him hasn't reacted to the move, but Shaquan's on to the next move, you know, and I think sometimes he makes it a little difficult on himself, where if he would just use his athleticism and his skill to get to the rim, nobody can guard him. You know, and I tell him a lot of times he lets the defender off the hook by settling for a guarded jump shot. But he has really improved. His percentages aren't great this year from three, but he has really improved the three-point shot. And, you know, his athleticism is through the roof. So we kind of go as Jaquan goes. I mean, if he's playing hard and playing well, we're going to be pretty good. And if he's not, it's probably going to be a ball game. But, you know, he's really coming along, and he's, you know, kind of the barometer of our team. And I think if he continues to kind of trend upward, I think we will too.
All right. Well, just a little bit of, you know, we kind of talked break. Something I wanted to you know, kind of, I don't know, talk about a little bit was, you know, we know what the guys do on the court. We can see the results. I mean, they're, you know, you can look them up, get the Braves app if you don't have it, and follow along, follow the streams, listen to Casey Weeder on the KOFO calls, and get out to Wilson Fieldhouse and watch these, you know, these teams play. But, you know, something you've been doing for a few years now is your team is involved in Meals on Wheels, and getting out. And, I don't know if it's a couple times a month. I know it's on Wednesdays. You guys do that
once a week. Yep,
okay.
Once a week.
You do it every Wednesday, and you know, get out and have the guys go deliver some meals. And you know, what kind of got that started for you, and you know, where's it taking you?
Yeah, you know, actually we've been doing Meals on Wheels since our 7th year. So when I took over as head coach, it's something I started. You know, my thought is, you know, at the time, you know, new coach, we've been okay, but we hadn't been, you know, really good. And I wanted to do something to kind of to give back to our community. You know, most of our guys aren't from Ottawa, but they're going to live in Ottawa for 2 to 3, 4 years. And so if we want people to come be part of our community, to come to our games, we need to kind of, you know, give back to the community. And it's a great program. I think it's, for our guys, I think it's humbling to see, you know, that some people, you know, they depend on this stuff, you know, to survive. And they don't have some of maybe the resources we have or some of the luxuries we have. And so we've done it it's every Wednesday. We do it through the summer and everything. And usually the summer it's more me and the coaching staff take over. The way it's supposed to work is we send 2 of our guys to do it each week. And then it's always one new guy and one old guy. So the old guy can show the new guy, here's where you go, here's how it works. And then the next week, the guy who's done it before, he brings somebody new with him, and it kind of just keeps going that way, where I don't have to explain to everybody where to go and how to do it and everything. But I think we've figured it out. I think we're like coming up on 4,000 meals delivered in 7 years. So it's a great program, and it's for our guys. I mean, it's, you know, it's an hour and a half the most of work a week for, you know. And the reason our guys don't have to do it once a semester, we have so many guys in our program, you don't have to do it that often. So, but, you know, cumulatively and collectively, it you know, 4,000 meals is a lot, you know. I mean, and so, you know, it's just a way for us to give back. And I think that's really important for our guys to kind of understand their community they're in, and how fortunate we are in things we have, and how we can help others. And, you know, something that takes us an hour to do means the world to a lot of those people. And they like to see the guys, you know, they like to see the young guys come around, and, you know, they don't really care when I drop off a meal, but if, you know, Tristan Hull at 6'7" walks in, they're kind of like, oh, hey, you must be on the basketball team, you know. So it's been a great program, and we're happy to be a part of it. And you know, it's something that I think is really important.
Well, I think it's a really cool thing that you've started and have been doing for that long, and 4,000 meals, like you said, that's coming up on a milestone for sure to hit that benchmark, and hope you guys continue to enjoy it and continue to have fun doing that. Well, Coach, I appreciate you sitting down with me. We didn't really even get into what's upcoming. You got Kansas Wesleyan at home on Saturday. A little bit about the pink out that you're having this weekend. Yeah.
So real quick, we've always done a pink zone night, which is the Women's Basketball Coach Association kind of special event night that's geared towards breast cancer awareness. And as I've talked before, my wife had breast cancer about a year ago and fought through that, and she's doing great. And obviously, when you have something like that hits home, you really, it means something more to you. And so what we've done this year is we actually ordered and bought new pink uniforms. And, we don't ever have any of our guys' names on the back of their jerseys for a lot of reasons. But what we did this year is we actually got some people to sponsor either, somebody that's been through breast cancer or maybe that has had a loved one that's been affected by breast cancer, and they actually sponsored the jersey. So we have people's names on the back of the jersey. So our guys will be wearing a jersey with a breast cancer, survivor or somebody that's been affected by breast cancer, their name on the back of their jersey. So Andre Jackson gets to wear my wife's name on the back of his jersey, so he better play well. But we had, the amount of people that we had reach out that wanted to do that, I didn't have enough jerseys to do it for everybody. So it's going to be a great night to, kind of honor those people. Those that can be there, whether it's the person's name on the back or somebody, from their family or their friends, they can be there. We're actually going to give them the jersey after the game. And so we'll do a short ceremony after the game and just kind of try and honor those people that have been through that, because it's an awful thing. And 1 in 8 women will experience breast cancer in their life. So it's an awful thing, but luckily, with us in our family, we're blessed for my wife to get through that, and so it'll be my wife will be there, my 94-year-old grandmother will be there, and she'll have a jersey that says grandmother on the back, so you'll know which one is hers. So it should be a fun night, and K-Dub's a good team, and hopefully kind of the pink zone night and a little bit of extra buzz will get us over the hump when it comes to trying to get that win against K-Dub.
Absolutely, Coach. Well, again, thanks for joining me. I'm really looking forward to getting out there Saturday night, watching that game, and being a part of that atmosphere. It's always a great one, and Kansas Wesleyan's a good basketball team. Well, we're going to take another timeout. When we come back, we'll be joined by women's head coach Tarnisha Scott. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
It's the perfect combination of food, fun, and football. The Kent Kessinger Show, Tuesday nights at Primetime Grill. And that combination just got even better, because now you can enjoy the show while you enjoy a blast from the past. Poncho's Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burrito. That's right, Poncho's Super Cheese or Super Chili and Cheese Burritos are back, and they're only at Primetime Grill on Tuesdays. Enjoy all of your other menu favorites, the full-service bar, and more at Primetime Grill, 2204 South Princeton Circle Drive. For game time and Poncho's Burritos, it's prime time.
Do you have taxiety? That uncertain feeling before doing your taxes? Filing on your own or choosing the wrong partner can be stressful. Connect with Liberty Tax and then just breathe in and cash out.
Pay no out-of-pocket expenses.
Sounds like a mantra.
Visit StopTaxiety.com to schedule your appointment and say farewell to the stress of tax season. Liberty Tax. Let's end taxiety. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply. See store for details.
My name is Darby Whitell. I'm from Ottawa, Kansas. I'm studying biology, and I'm a freshman at Ottawa University. I didn't expect how involved I would feel coming here. It's almost kind of like its own community. I'm very close with my family, like my parents, my brothers, my grandparents. They're all my big support systems, and they can come see my sporting events. Coming here was one of the best decisions I could have made.
The right decision for you is Ottawa University. Find out more by visiting ottawa.edu.
Exergen wants you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
When you have an emergency, who do you call? 911. What do you do if you're unable to speak during your emergency? You text to 911. Franklin County Emergency Communications Center has recently added text to 911 technology as part of the new 911 phone system. Cell phone users can use their phone messaging system to text 911 to contact local dispatch. Phones must have a text or data plan in order to use this service, and phones in roaming mode, text apps, or apps messaging services cannot use this feature. It is important to note, dispatch is unable to determine your location while using this service, so always know your location and include that in your initial text. Remember, if you're able to place a voice call, we're able to help you more quickly. But in the event you are unable to speak, text to 911 will still allow us to get the information we need. Call if you can, text if you can't. For more information, go to kansas911.org or 911.gov. This message has been brought to you by the Franklin County Emergency Communications Center and KOFO.
And back here at the Primetime Grill inside Fusion Alley, Luke Queen with you here for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And joining me now is Ed Women's coach Tarnisha Scott, and we were joking as we were getting ready to come on here. A long night of basketball for you last night. Triple overtime on the road against St. Mary. Coach Siebenthal, as he told you, made the joke about it. But 55 minutes of basketball played last night. We were joking about how, I was looking at the stats, and people played more than 40 minutes of basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not something you see a whole heck of a lot, but the game away victorious, any road win is always a big win in KCAC. What was it, especially in that second and third overtime, that your team just dug down and found a way to get it done last night?
Oh, man. I mean, just grit, and tenacity. I just thought that, they were tired, rightfully so, but I just think it was one of those, like, hey, we've come too far. Like, we got to finish this thing, And so I thought that we really, really kind of clung together and, got some fight from deep down within and finished it off. As we were kind of talking about, Haley Franklin hit some big free throws in that third overtime, to help us come away with that victory. But it was one of those fights that, because if you remember early on in the first semester, we went to double overtime over at Kansas Wesleyan, and we didn't pull that one out. So I think it was a great experience for us, and it was a growing a time for growth as well. I think it helped us grow as a team to kind of get over that hurdle. So I think that was big for us to achieve that win.
Absolutely, and you talked about that Kansas Wesleyan double overtime game. And I remember listening to that one too, and just like, just can't quite get it, and then to end up just short in that one. Well, now that was November. I think around the 20th of November. Yeah. Here we are. It's the 20th of January. We talked last week about how you said you're freshmen. You're not freshmen on the basketball floor anymore. You've gotten the minutes, and Haley Franklin being one of those. 44 minutes last night, 29 points, 4 big free throws in that third overtime to separate it to that margin to get the win. Those freshmen were involved in that November game, and now they're, kind of growing out of it and able to come through. It was a definitely tough fought game. Got up there in the third quarter, pretty good, and then kind of St. Mary's hit some shots.
Yeah, they hit some shots. They went on a run. We went on a drought, kind of at the same time. I think that it took us a while to score in that fourth. I don't think we scored for like the first 4 or 5 minutes, So it was tough. But, I mean, just, there's a lot of things, as a coach that I could have walked away and just been upset about. I could have been upset about the early missed free throws and, some of those key mistakes. But when you have a team that battles, through 3 overtimes, like we were talking about, through kids getting injured. We had Kenesha Payne foul out, Kenny Bankett fouled out. She finished with 19 points. And, I mean, those are huge hits, and just had kids stepping up, everybody willing to fight, and say, hey, we got to leave here with this victory. So, for me, I think that's something that I want to draw more attention to than those mistakes, and just say, listen, we're going to make some mistakes over the course of the basketball game, but do we have the will? Do we have the grit, the strength to kind of battle it out and come out with the W? So that was good to see.
Absolutely. And, you say, with Kenesha Payne fouling out, that actually happened late in regulation. Yeah. And so you played not, all 3 overtime periods without maybe, definitely your biggest post force on the team. So playing that smaller lineup, some of the girls having to play that 5 the whole time, a lot more than, just spells to Kenesha, they're actually playing it for the remainder of this. And, Kennedy Bankett, it played well. Maybe I'm a little bit of a homer when I say it, but a couple of those were a little questionable when the whistle blew and they pointed it and they called those numbers out.
I agree. Even the film will show you that I watched today. But those are some of those things that we talk about that we say is out of our control. Sometimes the whistle's in your favor, sometimes it's not. You just kind of got to play through those moments. There's some unfortunate calls there, but
And it's like you said, you have to play through them because it's close. You don't see it from the angle that the official might be looking at it, but I felt as though we might have gotten a few more minutes out of a couple of players, those 2 players especially.
Oh, yeah.
And could have maybe, I don't know, the game could have ended in regulation or in 1 overtime instead of in 3. But
yeah.
But I noticed Liz Vaughn and Haley Franklin both putting in 44 of those 55 minutes. They led the way scoring wise, 29. Both with over 20. Haley was with 29. I think
with
21. And play a defense and they weren't. If I don't know how they were because I didn't watch them walk off the floor, but hopefully they got a good night's sleep because I'm sure their body needed that after a tough one like that. And I want to say probably a good thing is you played the game on Wednesday night instead of being where on a Thursday where you just had the Friday to turn around for Saturday afternoon or early evening. So you got it on Wednesday, and you have an extra day here before you get ready for the team that we discussed earlier, as Kansas Wesleyan, who you went into double overtime with back in November, came up just a little bit short in that one. But your team has grown. I can't say I know the roster of Kansas Wesleyan real well, but I recognize some names that I've seen over the few years of KW, and they've got some experience for sure, and I think they rely heavily on that. Just getting your team ready to go and play your game, or is it any special new scouting reports we're going to use this time around that we didn't have in November?
Yeah, I think because even going back, like I said, and watching that game from November, we did a lot of great things even early on, So some of those same things you'll see. I think we have to be better defensively, in the game, and then we can't go on those scoring droughts, man. I think that kills us so much, in games. But over at Kansas Wesleyan, they're going to be a post-dominant team. They're looking to go high-low and, get the ball in the paint and score in the paint. So we got to do a better job defensively with keeping them out of the paint, and I think just forcing them to shoot the 3 ball. But I think also because Kansas Wesleyan wants to play you in that zone the whole game, you got to speed them up. We got to try to look to push the ball and get some things in transition. I think that once you see that, that's when we're really good, when we can play in transition. So we're putting major emphasis on that. Today was a recovery day, which is why we're so thankful that we were able to play that game on a Wednesday because, we needed it, we talked some Kansas Wesleyan and went over to scout and things like that, but for the most part, we're trying to make sure to take care of our bodies, and so that we can prepare and have a good one tomorrow, in preparation for Kansas Wesleyan. But it's going to be a very, very tough team, man. Very tough team, So we're going to have to throw some different looks at them, try to keep them on their toes, do some different things defensively, whether that be in the full court or half court. But we just have to keep changing it up, and we have to play with high tempo.
And, you've got the athletes, and they're, I'd say they've caught up a lot more to the speed of college basketball. A point that Liz Vaughn, when she was on with me a couple weeks ago, said, everybody at this level isn't just playing to play. They're on scholarship. They want to play basketball.
Yeah, it's not like high school.
Continue their career. And so, everybody's got that mindset, and so everybody's a player out there on the court. And, Kansas Wesleyan sits up 10-5 in the KCAC, but that was a 5-point game at their place.
Yeah.
And now coming back here, I had Coach Steve bring up the pink zone thing for Saturday, which is a big thing all over women's college basketball.
Yeah.
It has been for quite a while now, and I think it's a very special thing that they do.
Absolutely.
So they got to come in here where, let's hope we can get the crowd in Wilson Fieldhouse amped up and see what they can answer with here at your place.
Yeah, I'm hoping that our Pink Night brings out some extra fans, and just that we have Brave Nation in there supporting, because, when it's packed in Wilson Fieldhouse, man, it's a tough environment, It's loud. It's a gym that echoes. So I just think, and then we can get that student session going, right down on the floor. I think that'll be huge for us, try to carry on some momentum from the fans and things like that. But I think our girls enjoy playing in front of, their classmates, and their peers. So it's always fun when we can play at home. But we've got to be focused. We have to, 40 minutes. Hopefully we can get a 40-minute game on this one, Because before every game, they got me yesterday. But I'm always like, listen, I just need 40 minutes, just 40 minutes. And they're like, Coach, we gave you overtime, okay? We put in some extra time. But, I just think that, there's when you're playing these teams, like you said, they're 10-5, very good team, very well-coached team. You don't have much room for error, So you want to try to capitalize on mistakes, and you want to try to limit your mistakes, So that's just what we're going to set out to do. And I think that definitely it's definitely a winnable game, but it's going to be competitive, and it's not going to be easy at all. So,
all right, well, we're going to talk more with women's head coach Tarnisha Scott after this quick timeout. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk here on 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
Tired of the same boring burgers from yet another national chain? Break that chain with a visit to Ottawa's locally owned and operated Primetime Grill. What have they got? How about 8 kinds of salad for lunches that are light on calories and loaded with flavor? Maybe you'd like a big, crispy platter of fish and chips. Hot wings? Pork loin. Of course, if you still want that burger, you can choose from 7 mouth-watering options. Primetime Grill. What are you in the mood for?
My name is Jose Trejo. I'm a junior here at Ottawa University, and I'm currently studying exercise science. One of my favorite things about OU is that it's a small community, and coming from Western Kansas, where all there is small country towns, I felt right at home as everyone kind of just felt like family. It's a great community. It has a lot of support behind it, and most of the professors here are extremely well about getting you to understand the knowledge that they want you to understand.
Education for a lifetime at Ottawa University. To find out more, visit online at ottawa.edu.
This view was worth a hike.
Right? And it's a good way to stay on top of my health.
Yes, I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. Have you screened for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. It's more treatable when caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
It's a new year with new opportunities. But before we get to them, we owe you a debt of gratitude for making 2021 the best it could be. Thanks to your generosity, you helped us raise over $10,000 during our Cancer Awareness Telethon and donated huge amounts of non-perishable food items during our Thanks for Giving campaign that Hope House and ECAN delivered to many needy families this holiday season. We had some fun along the way, watching you search for the Lucky Shamrock, and we hope you enjoyed cheering on your favorite local team and your Kansas City Royals. And we continue to be amazed year after year at the tenacity you have in trying to win a turkey. We want you to know that it's going to get even better in 2022 with new promotions for you to enjoy, more local news, weather, and sports coverage than you'll get anywhere else, all while we share the good that is where we live with you in East Central Kansas. It's who we are and what we do. Happy New Year from 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
And back here for our final segment at the Primetime Grill for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. Luke Queen with you here, and alongside Braves women's head coach Tarnisha Scott. And Coach, you played 55 minutes last night. You got a nice little walkthrough, maybe a slower day today, but a big win. You play in some tough competition here as you turn into the second half of the conference season. With the likes of Sterling and Tabor right up at the very top, Kansas Wesleyan right up there 4 or 5 right now in the conference. Who have been a couple of the players that are have kind of been the ones stepping up here a little bit lately, or growing into that position a little bit more freshman-wise, or even some of the upperclassmen that have kind of brought their game to a new level a little bit?
Yeah. Man, when you ask me that question, I start to think, about like who could be that kid. And to be honest with you, I feel like there's so many of them, to be honest with you, because I feel like we can have a night like last night where Haley has 29, right? But Kenny Bankett also has 19 and she fouls out, right? And Liz Bunn has 20, and then we've seen games where Kenesia Payne has had 20 points and Amir Lowe's had 25. So, Jaleesa Simons, which unfortunately we don't have right now, but, she can fill it up. So I think when we're really rolling is when we start to get production from multiple people. I'm not looking to go into games and like 1 or 2 people, you got to do it for us. I think that when we can get, and then Jordan Bianco can get going. You know what I mean? So when I think about that, I'm just like, where there's so many kids out here from an offensive perspective that can really impact the game, And then defensively, I think Kenny Bankett is probably our best on-ball defender, Haley Franklin, she got Defensive Player of the Week earlier in the year, so there's so many kids. Even Kenesia Payne fouling out, she had 13 rebounds, over the hump and be one of those teams that are going to be, top 5, top 3 in our conference. We've got to get production on a consistent basis from multiple people, and that's when we're really good, when we can really use our depth. So that's what I'm looking to see. I'm looking to see get a little bit over here, there, and just, because I think it's so much more fun that way, and it makes you harder to scout, makes you harder to defend, because it's not just like, oh, we can key in on 1 or 2 kids. I know you have to defend us all. So that's when I think that it gets really exciting for us. So,
and I've seen a lot of, very few, with the exception of that last 5 seconds of any shot clock, is you got to get a shot up, and so it could be a tough shot, and it could be forced a little bit. Yeah. But I've seen a lot more, even in that Tabor game, and very tough team where guys were so close there, in the third quarter, and then Tabor is a talented team, and their shots started falling, and it was, and they kind of made that, the team had to scramble a little bit to try and keep up, and then the shots didn't fall. From my angle, I saw so many of them were right on line and just hit back rim and came out, or hit right off the front rim and didn't crawl over, and you're they're just that close every once in a while. So, I definitely could see where your excitement about getting it out there, because that wasn't just one person shooting those shots. It happened all over the floor, and you just hope you don't have those droughts all the time, where one person can find it. But defensively, seem to be picking it up a little bit. You play 55 minutes, you're going to give up a lot of points. That's so I'm not even worried about defensively last night. But, you know, and it seems like the team is really doing a good job at distributing the basketball to everybody as well. You know, whether Haley's bringing the ball up the floor, Jordan doing the same thing, or Kennedy, you know, I mean, I've seen 4 or 5 different girls.
Yeah,
I'm trying to figure out, is that a point guard, or are they running it through the 3 right now? But, you know, kind of maybe it's, you know, a little bit positionless basketball, or, you know, just kind of exploiting some matchups that you have there. But, you know, we've got Kansas Wesleyan coming in on Saturday, 5 o'clock tip-off inside Wilson Fieldhouse. You know, it's not going to be so cold, so everybody that can get on out there. It's still too cold to really do anything outside, so come into the Wilson Fieldhouse, have fun and watch basketball. But, you know, the pink out, I'm seeing it up there, Kay Yao court on here on the screen, you know, from NC State. And it was her and somebody else that were a big part of that. Now I'm blanking on the name. She was at Rutgers. I'm blanking on Coach's name. That kind of got this pink zone pink out started in women's college basketball. Is there anything special that, you know, Coach Stephenthal talked about how close it was to him and what they're doing? Is there anything special that you guys have going on with the women's team this week?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to honor our pink night tomorrow or Saturday as well. We'll have some pink gear, not necessarily jerseys. We're not just there yet, Steve, but hopefully we can get there here in the near future. But we'll definitely be having our pink night as well, and that's one of those times that hits home for me as well. I lost an aunt to breast cancer, so it's definitely something that we need to be battling and use our resources to try to come together on, you know. But we're hoping, you know, like I said, to honor those who have lost the battle and those who are still battling, you know, in the right way on Saturday. So hopefully we can do that, and then hopefully we can come out with home dubs on Saturday as well.
Absolutely. And Kansas Wesleyan isn't going to come in and just let you have it, that's for sure. And well-coached team, a good senior team, but you know, I have to kind of look ahead just a little bit to you as well, because you get through Kansas Wesleyan. It's been a nice week. You had Wednesday night. Thankfully, with the overtime, you get an extra day off. But then you play Saturday against Kansas Wesleyan, and then we go back to we get one day off.
To Avila.
And 3 games in a week again, and you start with Avila, who's receiving votes again. And granted, I mean, definitely worthy of that honor as well. So, you know, Avila and Bethany, a tough basketball team as well, coming in next midweek. And, you know, so what do you kind of have to look forward to? As I know you've already got a scout on them from earlier, but what do you got more for them maybe for this time around?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, I just think that right now going into this stretch of the season, you know, you play so much basketball, you're playing a lot of minutes. We've got to do a better job of using our depth, you know. Grateful to have Simone Rowland playing with us now this semester. So I think we got to get production, like I was saying earlier, from multiple people. And in each game, try to cut down those minutes, you know, per game for a lot of kids so that we can withstand this long stretch that we're about to go on, you know. So I think that's going to be very key, because what I'm asking the kids to do is when you're out there, I need you to give me everything you have, right? So if we're doing that, then I've got to do a better job of managing minutes and things like that. Just because, like you said, we're about to go on a tough stretch here. So to do that, we got to make sure that we're staying healthy.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck this week. Good luck next week. And we'll definitely be listening and watching, and hopefully this next half of the season just goes as well as it can. So I appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We got to wrap things up from here at Primetime Grill.
Celebrating over 70 years of information, sports, and entertainment. We are hometown proud. KOFO, K279CS, Ottawa.
KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM.
KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM.
KOFO 1220 and 103.7 FM.